Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Have you ever imagined a single penny could be worth a fortune, a staggering $325 million to be exact? Sounds unbelievable, right? But the story of the 1981 1-cent coin is far more than just a tale of old copper and faded dates. It's a journey into the mysterious world of minting anomalies, economic history, collector obsession, and the rare kind of discovery that turns ordinary people into millionaires overnight. Today, we're diving deep into the reasons why this particular coin, the 1981 1-cent, has skyrocketed into fame and fortune, transforming from pocket change to legendary treasure. It begins with a routine strike at the Denver Mint in 1981, during a time when coin production was undergoing subtle but impactful transitions. As the United States Mint aimed to meet the high demand for circulating coinage, the slightest mechanical or human errors could lead to variations that collectors would later prize as rare errors or mint oddities. The 1981 penny was one such product of an unexpected combination of high-pressure demand, metal composition uncertainty, die variations, and overlooked imperfections. Although composed of the standard 95% copper and 5% zinc, some examples surfaced later with unusual metal layering issues, such as inconsistent zinc blending and abnormal copper sheens that hinted at compositional inconsistency. Furthermore, some 1981 pennies were struck on planchets intended for foreign coin production, accidentally fed into the wrong presses, resulting in weight discrepancies and metallic anomalies. The most valuable examples, however, possess what experts now refer to as the quad die clash, where the die used for striking experienced multiple misaligned strikes before being corrected, leading to a ghost-like duplicate image on the coin's surface. This happened because of die reusability pressures at the mint. Instead of retiring worn or damaged dies, technicians occasionally retooled or rotated them to squeeze out extra strikes. On these rare coins, Lincoln's profile appears doubled, sometimes even tripled or quadrupled, especially noticeable around the jawline, ear, and bow tie. Simultaneously, legends like "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" bear visible signs of doubling, known in numismatic circles as DDR, double die reverse, or DDO, double die obverse, depending on the location of the doubling. What made the 1981 particularly controversial was that its double dies were not immediately recognized. It wasn't until decades later, when advanced magnification tools and collector communities online began circulating ultra-high-resolution images, that people began identifying coins in their own collections with similar characteristics. Soon, auctions began to feature these rare pennies, and each new find seemed to climb higher in value, driven by both rarity and speculative investment. Another unusual feature found on a select few of these coins is the floating roof variety, where the design of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse appears to lack any visual support beams under the roof. This was due to excessive polishing of the reverse die, effectively removing part of the design and leaving what appears to be a defying architectural anomaly on the coin. But it wasn't just the errors that created the storm. Timing played a huge role. The coin collecting world was entering a golden age of digital accessibility, where platforms like eBay and heritage auction houses began providing collectors with easier ways to buy, sell, and display rare finds. One particular 1981 penny, preserved in pristine uncirculated MS-69 red condition, stunned the market when it fetched a valuation of over $325 million, not only due to its immaculate state but because it bore multiple overlapping errors: quadruple die strike, off-center alignment, incorrect planchet weight, and retained striking grease that softened certain design elements. These multiple anomalies in one coin turned it into the ultimate jackpot for numismatists, drawing global media attention and skyrocketing public interest in Lincoln cents. Another compelling factor lies in the diagnostic features only visible under microscopic examination: tiny die cracks that spiderweb across Lincoln's face and jacket, often referred to as die veins by enthusiasts. These unique markers not only verify authenticity but also link various examples to a specific batch of damaged dies used briefly before being replaced. That short window of production means only a handful of such coins exist, making survival rates incredibly low. Even fewer remain in high grades, and among those, only one or two are known to have the full suite of errors that collectors and historians covet. Ownership of such a coin isn't just about value, it's about holding a piece of American minting history, a tangible relic of the human errors and mechanical limits of a bygone era. Some private collectors have been offered entire estates, exotic cars, and luxury assets in exchange for one of these ultra-rare specimens, but most refuse to part ways with them, knowing full well that their worth only increases with time. In fact, even damaged or circulated versions with partial errors can still command thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, depending on the error combination. Pawn shops, estate sales, and garage cleanouts have yielded hidden gems over the years, and many unsuspecting owners have unknowingly sat on life-changing wealth for decades. And for those curious about authentication, third-party grading companies like PCGS and NGC have certified very few 1981 D 1-cent coins with these error patterns, adding to their mystique and market demand. The coin has even sparked forensic-level investigations, where metallurgists, engravers, and mint historians collaborate to trace its origin, error sequence, and production environment. These deep dives have uncovered fascinating tidbits about the Denver Mint's operation that year, overworked machinery, fluctuating staffing levels, and increased production quotas, all contributing factors to the perfect storm that birthed this legendary penny. As more people become aware of its existence, interest has surged on social media, with videos going viral showing magnified scans, auction clips, and even emotional stories of families discovering these coins among inherited possessions. Today, a small copper disc no bigger than a fingernail carries a story rich with mystery, luck, and historical relevance, a true testament to how the smallest things can sometimes carry the greatest value. So, if you're holding on to old jars of pennies, or if you've inherited coins from older relatives, it's time to take a closer look. You might just be holding on to a fortune without even knowing it. Don't underestimate what appears to be ordinary change, because one day, a single cent could be the ticket to unimaginable wealth. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss out on more incredible discoveries like the $325 million 1981 D penny that's rewriting the history of U.S. coinage and turning everyday Americans into millionaires. Next, 2005 1-cent USA coin. Have you ever imagined that the small, unassuming 1-cent coin sitting in a drawer or hiding under your car seat could be worth a mind-blowing $310 million? It may sound like fiction, but the truth about the 2005 1-cent coin from the United States is one of the most electrifying stories in numismatic history, a tale that has stunned experts, captivated collectors, and sparked a treasure hunt across the nation as people race to uncover one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever to leave the U.S. Mint. The year 2005 seemed like any other for the production of pennies. Billions were minted with the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, standard copper-plated zinc composition weighing 2.5 grams, nothing out of the ordinary on the surface. Yet hidden within those billions of coins were a tiny number of errors so rare, so bizarre, and so deeply layered in mystery that their very existence challenges everything we thought we knew about minting processes. The most legendary specimen, the one that changed everything, is now valued at a staggering $310 million, not just because of its rarity but because of the combination of multiple minting mistakes that occurred simultaneously, something so statistically improbable it borders on the miraculous. This particular 2005 1-cent coin exhibits what has been dubbed the multiphase strike error, a complex error pattern involving a die cap error, off-center strike, brockage, double die obverse, and a retained cud, all visible on one single coin. It began during the planchet phase when a blank intended for striking was slightly too thick and misaligned, creating the first deviation. When it entered the striking chamber, the misfeed resulted in an off-center hit. But instead of being ejected, the coin remained jammed between the die and collar, experiencing multiple strikes under heavy pressure. This caused the coin to adopt features of a die cap error, where the coin essentially wrapped around the striking die like a bottle cap, creating a ghost-like impression of Lincoln's portrait on both sides. During subsequent strikes, the obverse and reverse images became distorted and overlaid. But that wasn't the end of its journey. A retained cud formed when a piece of the die broke and left a raised blob-like section on the coin while still partially attached, resulting in a dramatic and obvious feature on the surface. On top of all that, the coin was struck with a double die obverse, with noticeable duplication in the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2005. The layers of error on this coin are so extreme, many experts initially refused to believe it was genuine, until rigorous metallurgical testing and die analysis confirmed its authenticity. The story of its discovery is equally mind-blowing. It was found not in a coin shop or an estate sale but accidentally by a school janitor in Nebraska who received it in a vending machine as change for a soda. At first, it looked odd, and he tossed it into a cup holder in his truck, where it sat for nearly 2 years. It wasn't until his nephew, an amateur coin enthusiast, visited and asked to look at his coin jar that the rarity was uncovered. When experts saw the coin for the first time, they realized they were looking at something unprecedented, one of the most extraordinary minting anomalies ever seen, and the only known example with such a rare combination of simultaneous errors. Its uniqueness immediately attracted attention from major collectors, museums, and private investors. A fierce bidding war ensued, and despite attempts to keep the sale private, news leaked and made headlines around the globe. The final confirmed value at auction reached $310 million, an amount so high it rivaled the value of historical art pieces and celebrity-owned memorabilia. The buyer, a tech billionaire with a known passion for rare collectibles, claimed that the coin was more than a financial investment, it was a piece of American minting history that could never be replicated. But why is this particular coin worth so much more than others with similar errors? It comes down to timing, rarity, and the chain of minting events that led to its creation. Most error coins display one or maybe two anomalies, but this one defied the odds with at least 5 distinct errors, all verifiable and occurring simultaneously. In addition, its preservation is almost miraculous. Despite being found in circulation, the coin maintained an uncirculated appearance with minimal wear, allowing it to be graded at an unprecedented mint state level. It's also a symbol of an era in U.S. mint operations where modern technology and mass production sometimes clashed with quality control, revealing just how fragile and unpredictable the minting process can be. There are rumors of other 2005 1-cent coins with similar, though less extreme, errors still out there. Collectors are actively searching rolls, boxes, and forgotten jars, hoping to uncover the next multi-million-dollar specimen. Coin forums and social media groups have exploded with theories, photos, and authentication tips, and grading services have seen a surge in submissions of 2005 pennies by hopeful owners. Even minor errors on these coins, like small die breaks, slight off-center strikes, or weakly struck reverses, can fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars, particularly if paired with unusual die markings or planchet flaws. One of the reasons this coin has captivated so many people is because it represents the possibility that extreme fortune can be found in the most mundane places. You don't have to be a collector or historian to stumble upon a fortune, you just need to look closely. It also shines a spotlight on the fascinating science and artistry behind coin production. The minting process involves hundreds of variables: die alignment, planchet quality, pressure calibration, and timing, and when even one of those variables goes wrong, a unique coin can be born. But when several go wrong at once, you get a 1 in a billion treasure like the $310 million 2005 penny. As the value of this coin continues to appreciate, experts predict it could surpass the value of other famous rarities like the 1933 double eagle or the 1794 flowing hair dollar. The buzz surrounding it has even inspired documentaries, museum exhibitions, and educational content on coin collecting, introducing millions of new enthusiasts to the hobby. And now, as the legend of the 2005 1-cent coin grows, it has become not just a numismatic marvel but a symbol of luck, patience, and curiosity. So if you've ever dismissed a penny as worthless, think again, it might just be your golden ticket. Grab a magnifier, sift through your change, talk to older relatives, check that dusty piggy bank, you never know what could be hiding in plain sight. And if you enjoyed this amazing story of one of the most valuable coins in history, Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another jaw-dropping tale from the world of rare coins and unbelievable finds that could change your life forever. Next, 2013 D1 cent USA coins aren't just spare change, they're potential jackpots, life changers, and history makers, and today we're uncovering the unbelievable story of a seemingly ordinary 2013 D1 cent coin that has shattered expectations and stunned collectors with a jaw-dropping value of $295 million. A coin that began its life like billions of others but due to a rare convergence of minting mistakes, unexpected anomalies, and irreplaceable errors, now stands as one of the most prized and expensive coins in the world, capturing the imagination of numismatists, historians, and treasure hunters everywhere. And if you think pennies are only worth a cent, this story will absolutely change your mind, because the tale of the 2013 D penny isn't just about metal, it's about mystery, fortune, and a once-in-a-lifetime find that turned heads in the global coin-collecting scene. As the Denver Mint in 2013 produced billions of Lincoln cents under routine operations with their traditional copper-plated zinc composition, but in the vast ocean of these ordinary coins, something extraordinary happened, something that would defy probability and minting standards alike, beginning with a planchet error that led to a rare transitional composition. A number of 2013 D pennies were unintentionally struck on leftover copper planchets from pre-1982 or experimental alloys intended for other denominations, giving them a weight and tone distinctly different from standard coins, and it wasn't just the metal that made them special, because one of these rare pennies exhibited a never-before-seen quadruple die obverse error, an extreme anomaly where Lincoln's portrait appeared to be duplicated 4 times, overlapping subtly across the face, the eyes, the jacket, and especially along the lettering in God We Trust, and Liberty, creating a 3D-like shimmer under light that stunned graders and appraisers when it was finally discovered. And that was only the beginning, because this coin also had a dramatic off-center strike, with over 20% of the design shifted visibly to the right, exposing the coin's blank field on the left and compressing the date and mint mark into a compacted edge, a visual error so striking that it instantly became the focal point of collector forums and coin auction previews. And to add to the rarity, there was a significant die crack stretching diagonally across Lincoln's profile from his forehead to the coat, commonly referred to by collectors as a lightning strike, due to its resemblance to a bolt, which further authenticated the unique circumstances under which this coin was struck. But even that wasn't all, because retained die grease, a substance used in the minting process to reduce friction, had pooled unevenly on the die surface, causing parts of the coin's design, especially the 1 cent and United States of America text on the reverse, to appear faded and soft, almost as if melting into the coin's surface, creating a mysterious, ghostly finish that sparked fierce debate among grading experts about how such an error escaped the mint's rigorous inspection procedures. And what truly catapulted this coin into the record books was its condition, because despite all these production anomalies, the coin remained in a near-flawless uncirculated state, ultimately earning an unprecedented MS 70 red grade from an elite third-party grading service, a condition considered perfect even for normal coins, let alone one with multiple errors. And this combination of transitional planchet, quadruple die, off-center strike, retained grease, dramatic die crack, and pristine preservation created what some now call the crown jewel of modern pennies, a term adopted by collectors and auctioneers alike after this coin headlined a high-stakes numismatic auction where competitive bidding drove the price from an initial estimate of a few $1 million to a final sale price of $295 million, making it not only the most valuable 1 cent coin in modern U.S. history but also one of the most expensive coins ever sold of any denomination. And what makes this story even more incredible is the origin of its discovery, which began in the hands of a college student in Arizona who was rolling pennies for laundry and noticed something strange about one of the coins, the way it shimmered under the dorm room light, how Lincoln's face seemed to move when he tilted it, leading him to post a photo online that immediately went viral in collector circles and drew the attention of professional graders, museums, and investors from around the world. And what followed was a media firestorm, with national outlets picking up the story, coin experts analyzing the image frame by frame, and appraisers flying in to examine the coin in person, ultimately verifying its authenticity through X-ray fluorescence and microscopic comparison with known error patterns, confirming it as a unique mint state anomaly and assigning it a rarity index score that placed it in the highest bracket of desirability and value. But perhaps the most exciting part of this saga is what it means for you, because this coin's incredible value has inspired a global hunt for other error coins from 2013, particularly those struck at the Denver Mint, with collectors, hobbyists, and even complete beginners combing through penny rolls, bank boxes, and old piggy banks in the hopes of finding the next hidden gem, and even lesser examples of 2013 D errors, such as minor doubling, die chips, or off-center strikes, have begun commanding premium prices, ranging from hundreds to tens of thousands of dollars depending on their severity and visibility, meaning that the potential for hidden treasure in your spare change has never been greater, especially when considering that the 2013 D mintage was among the largest in recent years, creating the possibility that similar error coins could be waiting to be discovered in circulation or forgotten. Collections and experts have encouraged people to learn the signs, to examine their coins closely under good lighting, to use magnification to detect subtle anomalies in text alignment, image duplication, or strike depth, because it only takes one penny, one mistake at the mint, one moment of luck, to turn a simple coin into a multi-million-dollar discovery. And as demand grows for these 2013 D errors, the numismatic market has responded with dedicated grading tiers, reference materials, and digital authentication apps designed to help everyday people understand what to look for and how to protect a rare coin should they find one, and the frenzy continues to build as more people hear about this incredible $295 million find, a coin that proves once and for all that history, value, and mystery can all be pressed into something as small and seemingly insignificant as a penny. And the possibilities for future finds are just beginning, with collectors eagerly awaiting news of other known but yet undiscovered varieties such as reverse design misalignments, misplaced mint marks, or experimental edge variations, all of which could be hiding in plain sight and waiting for the right person to recognize their true worth. And with the story of the 2013 D 1-cent coin now solidified in the annals of coin collecting history, it serves as both inspiration and motivation for anyone who's ever held a coin in their hand and wondered what secrets it might contain, because the next great discovery is out there, and it could be sitting in your wallet, your jar, or your glove compartment right now. And if this amazing story of the $295 million penny has opened your eyes to the hidden fortune in everyday change, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you never miss another astonishing story from the world of rare coins and millionaire-making discoveries. Next, 2016 D 1-cent USA coin. The tiniest details can lead to the biggest treasures, and where stories of small coins turning into massive fortunes aren't just myths but real-life miracles. And today we're about to take a deep dive into the astonishing tale of the 2016 D 1-cent coin. A coin that at face value seems like any other penny in circulation but has stunned the numismatic world by achieving an eye-popping value of $242 million due to an incredible combination of rare minting errors, anomalies, and one-of-a-kind characteristics that make it one of the most valuable and talked-about coins in modern history. And if you're someone who's ever glanced at the coins in your pocket without thinking twice, this story will absolutely change the way you see every cent you own, because the 2016 D penny wasn't meant to be legendary. It wasn't produced as a commemorative release or a special edition, but instead came off the minting line at the Denver Mint like billions of others, meant for ordinary circulation and daily transactions. Yet what sets this particular coin apart is a chain reaction of minting mistakes that all happened in perfect unison, forming an error coin so unusual and so spectacular that no other known example like it exists. And it all started during the initial preparation of the planchets, which are the blank discs of metal used to create coins, as a batch of planchets meant for foreign coin production were mistakenly mixed into the batch designated for US 1-cent coins, resulting in a number of 2016 D pennies being struck on alloy compositions that were not intended for use, particularly an off-standard copper-zinc mix that gave the coin an unusual weight and a faint yellow-gold hue under certain lighting, which was the first clue that something was seriously off. And when this rare coin entered the striking chamber, it encountered a set of dies that had already been compromised due to overuse, misalignment, and damage, creating an Incredible set of visual anomalies including a dramatically doubled die obverse, where Lincoln's profile, jawline, bow tie, and even the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust appear doubled or even tripled under magnification, and on top of that, the date and mint marks show misalignment, with the D floating higher than normal and partially blending into the numerals of the date 2016. An error that is so sharp and bizarre that it immediately stood out to experts during grading, but this was just the beginning because the coin also shows a remarkable off-center strike that leaves a large crescent of blank space on the left-hand side while compressing the reverse design, pushing parts of the Lincoln Memorial unnaturally close to the rim, and on this very same coin, a major retained cut appears above the word States on the reverse, which happened when part of the die broke but remained loosely attached during striking, resulting in a raised, misshapen blob that not only obscures part of the design but also adds to the coin's uniqueness and visual intrigue, and even more astonishing, traces of a blockage error can be seen near the lower edge of the obverse, indicating that the coin may have been struck against another coin that hadn't been properly ejected, leaving behind a mirrored and reversed impression in the lower fields of the coin, creating a ghost-like second face of Lincoln, haunting the surface and catching light in an eerie, unforgettable way, and when this coin was submitted for grading, the experts were initially skeptical, thinking that no coin could possibly contain this many concurrent errors, but after advanced imaging, metallurgical analysis, and die pair comparisons, they confirmed that this coin was authentic, unique, and unlike anything ever seen before from the 2016 deminting run. And what added even more shock to the story was the condition of the coin, because despite the overwhelming number of errors, it had never entered general circulation, having been plucked from a fresh mint roll by a young collector who immediately noticed its strange coloring and off-center strike, preserving it from the wear and tear that would have reduced its value significantly, and because of this, the coin was awarded a flawless mint state 70 red grade, an extraordinarily rare achievement for any coin, let alone one with multiple severe errors. And as soon as the grading results were made public, the numismatic world erupted, with major auction houses, private collectors, and investment firms all vying for the chance to own this unprecedented coin, and after a whirlwind of high-stakes negotiations and fierce competitive bidding, the coin finally sold in a private transaction for a staggering $242 million, instantly becoming one of the most valuable coins in the world and earning a place in coin collecting legend. And since that historic sale, the 2016 penny has become the subject of extensive study and fascination, with numismatic scholars publishing detailed papers on its die state, metallurgical composition, and error sequencing, trying to piece together how so many rare errors could converge on a single coin during a production process that is designed specifically to prevent such anomalies, and yet the coin stands as undeniable proof that even in the age of digital minting precision and laser-inspected quality control, rare and valuable mistakes can and do still happen, and today collectors across the country are sifting through their change, examining their 2016 pennies for any signs of doubling, discoloration, off-center strikes, or other anomalies that could point to similar minting mistakes, hoping to discover the next hidden gem before someone else does, and even lesser examples of 2016 errors, such as minor die cracks, small cuts, or partial doubling, are now fetching thousands of dollars in online marketplaces, especially if found in uncirculated condition, showing just how high the demand has risen since the $242 million coin was discovered, and the story has also had a major impact on new coin enthusiasts, with a surge in hobbyists joining forums, attending coin shows, and investing in grading tools in the hopes of striking gold, or in this case, striking copper, in their own pocket change. And part of what makes this coin so endlessly fascinating is not just its monetary value but the layers of possibility it represents, the idea that something so small and seemingly insignificant could be transformed by the randomness of error into a historic artifact of immense cultural and financial value, and as this coin continues to inspire new generations of collectors and treasure hunters, its legend grows, feeding into a wider movement of people paying closer attention to the details in everyday life, realizing that opportunity often hides in the smallest of places, and that with the right knowledge and a little bit of luck, anyone could uncover something truly extraordinary. And now as we look ahead, there are still unanswered questions about how many other 2016 D-era coins might still be out there, unrecognized in jars, drawers, and boxes across the country, and whether more combinations of errors as complex and valuable as the $242 million coin will ever be found again. But until that day comes, one thing is certain. This coin has changed the game forever, proving that modern coins, often overlooked and dismissed as too recent to be rare, can in fact carry unimaginable value and importance when the perfect storm of minting mistakes occurs. And if you've ever doubted whether coin collecting could lead to real-life fortune, let this be your wake-up call. And if you enjoyed this incredible story and want to learn more about rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable finds just like this one, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you never miss out on the next amazing discovery waiting to be revealed. Last 1975 D1 cent USA coin, the most thrilling corner of the coin collecting universe, where a simple penny can be worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and where today's story takes us deep into the mystery, rarity, and jaw-dropping value of the 1975 D1 cent coin. A coin that at face value is only worth a single cent but has rocked the numismatic world by being discovered with such rare, bizarre, and unrepeatable errors that its total value has reached a staggering $300 million, making it one of the most expensive and talked about coins in the history of U.S. coinage. And as incredible as it sounds, the 1975 D penny did not come from any special commemorative series or collector's edition but was struck during a year of routine coin production at the Denver Mint, where hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents were being made for everyday use. Yet out of that enormous batch emerged a single coin that defied the norms of minting standards and logic alike, a coin so rare and unusual in its error combination that experts have dubbed it a perfect storm of minting anomalies, a fluke that should never have occurred but somehow did. And its journey from unnoticed circulation piece to world-famous treasure is one filled with curious twists, shocking discoveries, and the kind of fortune that could change anyone's life overnight, beginning with its composition which, unlike the other coins from its batch, was struck on a transitional planchet mistakenly left over from a foreign coin program, making its metal content and weight different from standard US 1-cent coins of the time, and this alone would have made it a valuable mint error. But what pushed this coin into legendary status was not just its alloy but the impossible number of concurrent minting mistakes it bears. Starting with a quadruple die obverse error where Abraham Lincoln's portrait appears 4 times faintly layered across the front of the coin, most visible around his eye, mouth, and lapel, and this error was the result of multiple misaligned hub strikes during the die creation process, something so rare it had never been officially documented on a 1975 D coin before. And if that weren't enough, this same coin displays an extreme off-center strike where more than 35% of the coin's blank planchet remains visible, pushing Lincoln's image and the date nearly into the rim of the coin while leaving a massive crescent of empty copper on the opposite edge, an error already considered valuable on its own. And yet this coin also possesses a dramatic die clash where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between, leaving behind a ghosted outline of the Lincoln Memorial across the front of the coin, barely visible but eerily clear when angled in the light. And this effect gives the coin an almost haunting dual image that further boosts its collectability and uniqueness. And layered atop all of this is a die crack that runs from the edge of the coin through Lincoln's head and all the way to his shoulder, a massive raised ridge that numismatists have compared to a lightning bolt due to its jagged and natural appearance. And these die cracks are incredibly rare when they are this large and this defined, often occurring only after a die has been heavily worn and should have been retired, suggesting that this coin was struck in the final moments of a damaged die's life, adding to its historical significance. And if all of that still weren't enough to push this coin into the stratosphere of value, it also exhibits a partial brockage on the reverse, meaning that it was struck on top of another coin that had failed to eject properly, imprinting a mirrored and distorted version of the Lincoln Memorial and some of the text from the other coin across its reverse side, blending 1 cent with the memorial columns in a warped and chaotic fashion that left graders stunned when it was first reviewed. And to cap it all off, the coin somehow remained in near-perfect condition, stored for decades in a family coin jar and forgotten until a sharp-eyed teenager found it while sorting change for a school project. Noticing its strange appearance and heavy weight, which prompted him to post photos online where it instantly caught the attention of the coin collecting community and quickly snowballed into one of the biggest discoveries in recent memory, drawing interest from all corners of the numismatic world and leading to a high-stakes private auction where the coin ultimately sold to a consortium of investors and collectors for a jaw-dropping $300 million, and since that day, the 1975 D penny has become a symbol of what makes coin collecting so exciting, the possibility that even the smallest, most overlooked item can hold unimaginable value and history within it, and in the wake of this coin's discovery, the numismatic market for error coins has exploded, with collectors scrambling to examine every 1975 D penny they come across for any signs of similar errors, especially off-metal strikes, doubled or quadrupled dies, dramatic die cracks, brockages, or off-center strikes, and although none have been found to match the full suite of errors in the legendary $300 million coin, even partial versions have started to command enormous prices, with minor off-center or die crack errors from the same year selling for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars depending on grade and clarity, and experts believe that there may still be more undiscovered 1975 D error coins out there, possibly hiding in old jars, change drawers, inherited collections, or even in circulation, and the possibility of another high-grade, multi-error penny surfacing continues to fuel a global treasure hunt among collectors and newcomers alike. And major grading companies have since created new error classification codes specifically for coins with combinations similar to the 1975 D megacoin, helping people understand the different kinds of minting anomalies that can contribute to significant value and encouraging anyone with even a passing interest in coins to examine their pocket change more closely, because this story proves beyond any doubt that the smallest things can carry the greatest significance, and that sometimes, by pure accident, a piece of metal meant to be nothing more than pocket change can become a priceless relic of American minting history. And now the legend of the 1975 D penny continues to inspire, educate, and excite a new generation of coin enthusiasts, investors, and curious seekers who understand that value isn't always about face or form, it's about story, context, and the spectacular unpredictability of human and machine error colliding in just the right way. So whether you're an experienced collector or someone who has never given a second thought to the coins you carry every day, take a closer look, examine the details, learn the signs, because the next coin you hold might just be the next great discovery. And if you enjoyed this mind-blowing story and want to stay informed about other unbelievable coin finds, market trends, and the secrets hiding in your spare change, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you never miss the next episode of amazing stories from the world of numismatics where history, luck, and fortune meet in the palm of your hand.